is very possible to get your Kenyan passport in less than 1 month. And if you follow the tips and the guidelines in this video, you will be among those lucky people who will get their passport right on time and travel the world. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, karibu sana, and kindly consider subscribing to my channel and joining this wonderful family. If you're a returning subscriber, feel much appreciated. Today we are going to go through the passport application process in Kenya, and I would want us to go through a step-by-step process on how we go about it, and this process will enlighten you on how you can get your Kenyan passport in 2 weeks, yes, or less than that. If you follow the tips and the guidelines that I will highlight in this video, this will definitely come through for you to acquire that travel document just in time when you need it. Without further ado, we are going to go straight to it. One thing I want you to know, if you're a Kenyan and you are applying for your travel document, that's the Kenyan passport, and maybe the reason why you're applying for your passport is because you have an emergency, I want you to know that the immigration department considers emergencies and gives them a priority. In case you're applying for a passport, you're among the cases that are considered as emergency, you are given a priority where application is concerned. Other case that is considered as an emergency is a medical case. The only thing you have to do if you have a medical case is if you have the documents to show that you are genuine. This is considered as an emergency. So the only thing to consider here is that you have the report from the doctor showing that you require urgent medical attention. The third case that is considered as an emergency in this case is scholarships. If you are on a scholarship and you really need to travel for your education, and this is a matter of emergency, you're also considered as one of the people who will get their passports first. And these three categories, the scholarships, the medical reasons, and the Kenya Defense Forces, in case you have this urgency, you have a priority in Nyayo House, counter number 16. So this is the counter that serves these emergencies, but you have to document the proof that you are really in need of this passport urgently. So this is so good to know if you are one of these, if you fall under this category. I think it's good to know that you are considered as an emergency and you can get your passport based on your emergency. Apart from that, if you're just a normal person and you want to have that travel document just to be ready for, who knows, open doors. So if you're one of these person who is just hopefully getting a passport, hoping for travel in the near future, and you maybe want it faster than normal, then this is the process that you have to follow in order to apply for your passport. This applies to replacement of a lost passport, getting a new passport, or renewing an old passport. The process is the same. It's only the documents that might differ, but the process is the same. So the process that you need to follow when you're applying for your new passport, number one is you have to register on your e-citizen portal. If you are a Kenyan and you are above 18 years old, you are eligible to have an e-citizen account. So in case you don't have an e-citizen account, you can open one. You just go to Google www.ecitizen.co.ke and you will follow the due process and have your e-citizen account. After that, you will go to, in your e-citizen account, you will go to the immigration department. So the immigration department is what caters for the passport application. This immigration department in the e-citizen portal, you will go direct to passport application process. So after the passport, then it will ask you for the passport owner, and whether you are a Kenyan citizen or not. So you will have to indicate that as you fill in your application. Take note that this is the application process that I'm taking you through shortly. You will fill in that you are an ordinary passport holder if you want the ordinary passport. If you are a first-time passport applicant, you will also fill the same. Then you will fill the number of pages. It gives you a suggestion of the number of pages that you want. So the ordinary one is around 50 pages. So that is what most of the first-timers go for. Then it will ask you which of your parents has a passport. Of course, if you have a parent, if your parents are alive, you will fill in whether they have a passport or not. Don't feel challenged if your parents don't have a passport, because I don't think this will affect you in any way. So then you will have to input the passport number if your parents have a passport. Then you will have to put the location in which you want to submit your documents. So this is where the trick is, guys. Don't forget this. If you want to have your passport really fast in Kenya, don't choose Nyayo House as your place of application. Reason being, Nyayo House lately has really been crowded. I think everyone in Nairobi wants to get a passport, and this has created a lot of backlog, causing a lot of long queues, and you're not in a position to get your passport in a month, no matter how much you try. So in this case, what you have to do is you can choose Embu, which in this case is what I chose, and got my passport in 2 weeks. So you can choose Embu, Kisii, or Nakuru. So in case you want your passport fast enough, don't choose Nyayo House, even if you're applying in Nairobi. This is just a tip. The other immigration centers in Kisii, in Embu, in Nakuru are not that populated, so this gives you a higher chance of getting your passport right on time. After that, you will be asked to choose your gender, if you're female or male. So you just tick in the boxes, the color of your eyes, your special peculiarities. The special peculiarities, I believe, is if you have any deformity in your body. So if you don't have, just write not applicable. If you have, feel free to indicate that. Then your height, your place of birth, your country, which of course is Kenya in this case, your KRA PIN number. Every Kenyan at the age of 18 is eligible to have a KRA number, Kenya Revenue Authority number. So you should have this when you're applying for your passport. In case you don't have, make sure you have it first before you even start the process of application. Your birth certificate number, your marital status. In case you have changed names, you have to document that. Then your reasons for travel. Even if you're applying for a passport without traveling, you have to indicate, are you traveling for visit, are you traveling, whatever reason, just indicate visit, because in case you just need a passport to prepare you for future, you just fill in visit. The estate where you stay, the estate or the village where you stay. So this is quite easy. You just have to indicate where you live. Then your email address, the father status if available. So in case your parents are deceased, you have to indicate that. If your father is there, you have to produce a copy of his identification card. So in case your parents are deceased, you produce their death certificate copy. In case they are alive, you produce their copy of the national ID, their phone number, and the same case applies to the mother. So whether mother, father, you have to follow the same procedure. Then you have to indicate your next of kin. So your next of kin could be your parent, could be your brother or sister, could be your kid. That depends on what you want. So in case you have children, you will indicate their details, like your children, their names. Yeah, you will follow the procedure there. Then the reference person. In this case, the reference person is called the recommender. And a recommender is a person who is not your family. It could be your workmate, your friend, but not your family. So you will have to produce a photocopy of your recommender's ID, and there is a part of the application process of the application form that your recommender will fill. So these details are very important. You cannot submit the application without the recommender. After this, you will print down the form and produce 3 copies of the receipt. The form, the payment, and then 3 copies of the receipt after you have already paid. After payment, you gather all the documents for submission. Prepare them for submission. So on the application form, there is a place where you chose where to submit your documents. So this is the place where I was telling you, in case you want to have your passport first, don't choose Nairobi, choose Embu, Kisii, or Nakuru. The documents that you will need for your passport application are your passport photo, the applicant's signature on a white background. So your passport photo, the applicant's signature on a white background. So in this case, you will just take a plain paper and put your signature. This is what you will scan as you scan the document for online submission. After that, you will also scan your ID, the front part, and then the back part of your ID card. Then the applicant's birth certificate copy, your father's ID, your mother's ID. Remember, in case they are not alive, you can put their death certificate copy. Then these documents that you're scanning should be in JPEG form. So during the submission process, the things you should bring with you are the e-citizen pre-filled form and 3 receipts. This form, after filling this form, you will print out 3 receipts. After filling this form and of course making the payment, you will print out 3 receipts and of course the form, that the application form, the original birth certificate, original and copy of your ID, national ID card, then your current passport size photos, 3 passport size photos, then recommender's ID and copy. Remember, a recommender should not be your family member. If you're applying for a minor and you're not the parent, you need a consent letter from the guardian or from the parents. Then you also need, if you're having a replacement of an old passport, you should also bring with you the old passport. And if you have lost your passport, you should bring a police abstract indicating when and where you lost your passport. Then for the parents, you have to bring with you the copy of their national IDs, and if the parents are deceased, you have to bring their death certificate copies. So, and of course, you have already paid your passport fees in this case. So that is the process you go through as you apply for your passport, Kenyan passport. But take note of this: in case you have an agency of your passport, you should not book Nyayo House. Kindly consider booking Embu, Kisii, or Nakuru. And in case you're on an emergency, like a medical emergency, remember you can go to Nyayo House, counter number 16, and there you will be served. It is also possible to contact the immigration officers. There is a number on the e-citizen platform, and this number really works. Consider calling or writing them an email in case you're stuck somewhere, and I believe they'll be helpful. So for those who want their passport faster enough, consider Nakuru, consider Embu, or Kisii, and this will help you get your passport in 2 weeks. I got my passport in 2 weeks in Embu. I didn't know anyone, I didn't pay any money. I just did my research and realized that they are faster producing passports in Embu because the place is not so congested as it is in Nyayo House. So I hope you will have a successful application process for your passport. And after application, note that once the passport is ready, they will send you a message. And nowadays you don't have to go pick your passport from the application center. You just have to pick it from the nearest post office, but this is a different process altogether. So if you want me to explain to you this process, kindly leave a message in the chat and I will see and know whether I have to do the tracking process. It's through the post office. I will know whether I'll have to take up this video and explain to you how to get your passport. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And in case you have any question regarding the passport application process, kindly feel free to leave a comment and I will be glad to answer you. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you're going to get your passport soon enough and travel the world. Once you follow these small tips, I believe you're going to get your passport on time and be ready for travel. Thank you so much for watching, and kindly share this video with your friends, as I know it will help someone out there who really wants to get their passport. Until the next video, goodbye.